Hey guys, welcome to the Whimsical Workshop. In this video, I'm going to share with you the craft rabbit hole I fell down this year and all of the projects I have been working on since February. So let's get started. Okay, so as I said in the intro, I fell down a rabbit hole this year of doing crafty, soft projects, and I have been working on all these different mediums, wait till you see what I've been doing, since February. And I thought it would be really fun and exciting to share with you guys what I've been doing, because who doesn't like to show off projects they've finished or almost finished, or works in progress. I mean, I just have had so much fun exploring other areas of soft crafts. Soft crafts can be knitting, crochet, sewing, quilting, needle crafts, embroidery, needle punch. All of those are considered soft crafts. And in February, I decided I wanted to explore more things that I could do with thread, whether it was embroidery floss, machine sewing thread, yarn. I know that's not really thread, but I wanted to explore some other avenues for crafting, because I don't know about you, but after 3+ years of the lovely pandemic, and now that we're out and about again, I spent so much time focusing on quilting, like intensely focusing on quilting for 3 years, that I feel a little burnt out, and I figure the best thing to do is kind of switch gears, play with some other things. And anytime I do that, I come back to quilting much stronger and much more refreshed. So I hope you enjoy this little tour of projects that I have been working on since February. So how did it all start? First, it started at QuiltCon. QuiltCon happened to be here in Arizona in February. It was a modern quilt show, retail show for anybody to go to, and I kind of went to it looking for some quilting inspiration. And in the end, I found a booth called Global Artisans. They have a website with tons and tons and tons of embroidery and needlepoint and flosses and yarns. And I mean, his booth was beautiful. He had every kind of yummy color you could want. And I had never done needlepoint before. I had done lots and lots of cross stitch before I became a quilter, but not needlepoint. And he had several patterns from this lady called Kathy Rees. And this was one of the ones I got. This was Funky Hearts. I didn't understand anything about needlepoint. I am dipping my toe in that pool, and I'm finding I absolutely love it. This lady's patterns are not done on painted canvas. A lot of needlepoint, you get a painted canvas and you stitch it. I have one I can show you. So this is a needlepoint canvas that I picked up in San Francisco. Oh, isn't that the cutest? And they're usually hand painted, and they're very expensive. I think this was a real deal, and I got this one, but they're upwards of hundreds of dollars for a painted canvas. I'm not sure about you, but that's kind of out of my budget, though I have again dipped my toe in that pool. But her patterns are all you draft the canvas yourself. You grid it out, and you just follow her. It's like a 35-40 page pattern, and you embroider, you needlepoint all of this stuff. Okay, so there's a really good close-up for you. And you're just literally just following the grid. And I did this one. I got 2 squares there. I need to really finish those 2. And then I got kind of tired of doing this, because part of why I wanted to do needlepoint is I love color, and you don't get to the color very quickly. So I decided that I was going to set this aside for a while. And obviously I haven't started my bunny rabbit yet, but she was offering another one. This was a sew along class. But I mean, that, if you know me at all, you know that is my cup of tea. So I've switched over to this one, but this to show you how she does her patterns. They're all gridded out. So I've started this one. There you go. And so I'm in the top row here, right there, and you just follow her grids. So it's much more economical. You do have to grid your own canvas, but I have learned so much about needlepoint, and I know I'm just dipping my toe in that pool. So I'm working on that one. We went to a needlepoint store in San Francisco. So I'm just going to go by, I'll tell you the stories as we go, but we went to a store in San Francisco, and they had these painted canvases, and they were small projects. And I thought, well, let me try stitching a small project on a painted canvas. So I did this guy, this little H, and then I did this guy for Matthew. These were painted, and all you did is stitch. And it was very much more like cross stitch, because you're filling in the area and you're doing just, they call it tent stitch, which is just one half of a cross. This one I got a little fancier with, you know, I did some up and down here, and I don't know if you can see it, I added some glittery threads to it. Very simple, very basic, but I feel like needlepoint is a really good de-stressor. I can sit, put on a movie, and do the needlepoint, and it's just very, very methodical. Where that led me was to cross stitch, which again, I used to do like all the time. I was obsessed with cross stitch from my teens into my early 20s. And then when I started to quilt in my late 20s, I literally stopped cross stitching completely. I don't know why, but I've started picking it back up again. This was a pattern I bought, and I stitched this guy for Halloween. It was a very, very fun and easy stitch. But it was my first time on 28 count, which, can you see just how tiny those holes were? So having not done it for 20 plus years, and then to pick it up and do it on 28 count was, first of all, I realized how 20 plus years, what it did to my eyes. It was a lot harder to see this, but I was really, really happy with it, and I had it done in time for Halloween, and I really realized I liked cross stitch still. But what happened from that is, again, how can I bring my design and my art into other crafts? That's really kind of my path. So for needlepoint, I can have the canvases painted with our characters and my designs, and do needlepoint that way. For cross stitch, we can create cross stitch patterns, and that got me thinking and making me want to try that. So I took our puppy love. He's not done yet, and this is just a needle minder, which is a little magnet thing that holds your needle in place. I took our puppy love free, well, it's not a free block, but it is a $5 block on our pattern. It is a $5 block on our website from the Block Mania series, and I created a puppy love cross stitch pattern. This is all Aurifil cross stitch on 18 count, and that is going to be a pattern, and I'm going to explore doing more and more. So let me know in the comments below if you want to know more about my cross stitch patterns as I develop them. But I thought that was a perfect marriage of my love of these cute characters I designed and bringing them in. But this has been very, very fun. He is going to be big. He's going to be like a pillow. So it's taking me a long time to stitch him because I did it on 18 count. Going forward, we will do a variety of counts, because obviously some bigger counts, faster to stitch, more fun sometimes, but this one, he needed that for all his detail in his eyes and stuff. So I'm really happy with this. I'm excited. So those are my cross stitch. From cross stitch, while we were at the Global Artisan booth, I got a sashiko panel. Sashiko is Japanese embroidery, and these were little Yazzie kits. Yazzie bags are the ones, if you've ever watched any of my videos, they also do these little sashiko panels that you could stitch and put on your bags. Two of these my sister stitched. Don't know which two, so I'm just showing them all as if I did them. I'll take the credit. I turned these into coasters, but very, very meditative. Very, very fun. But then I bought a stencil, and I did 2 panels of sashiko, and then I used our fabric basket pattern, and I created this little basket, and you can see all of my stitching all over it. This one, if you follow me on social media, you saw as I traveled this spring, everywhere I went, we took a picture with the sashiko. I even went to San Francisco and saw the Thinker, the statue of the Thinker, and this is at the base of the Thinker. I had a lot of fun with that. But sashiko is so fun to, I have one always now in my purse. When I have to wait at the doctor's or anywhere I wait, I pull it out, because you're using usually one color of thread and it's already marked. So you're just sitting there and kind of meditating as you do this. This is my tissue box basket on my desk, and again, these became coasters. I loved sashiko so much that now I am teaching that on a cruise come end of February. I think that cruise is sold out, but please stay tuned. We'll probably do some more stuff with Sashiko, and they also have a version of Japanese cross stitch, which is called, I'm gonna kill it, probably Koogin, Koogin. I'm going to be playing with that one as well, and I'll share that with you. So again, keep falling deeper into the rabbit hole. All right, so from Sashiko, I love Sue Spargo. She is a embroidery person. This was a little kit, a pattern I bought from her, and then I did all the funky stitches on it. And then now this is on my go bag that I use for classes. And I have got already, I'm going to be doing this. This is her Chirp Sue Spargo book. Again, bought this at QuiltCon. Gives you the opportunity to play with stitches and play with color and slow down and be meditative. And I kind of feel like that's been my theme this year. So I've done that, got this guy ready. You may see him in and out of videos as well. But then I went over to my machine. And I don't have those physically in front of me, so I'm going to put a picture up here. The first one I did is I took our Rising from the Ashes quilt pattern, which I will show you here. It has been a really nice way to play with thread, to learn about needles, to learn about the smaller aspects of quilting, and not these big, huge quilts that we just quilt. I'm looking at different ways to play with thread on the quilt. I know I do a lot of applique, but how do we embellish the applique with stitches? Then we have, I went from that, we have a line of fabric that came out with Island Batiks. If you've been following any of my social media, you know it's out there. It's called Woodcut Blossoms. And I did all these circle appliques, and then I used the circle foot with my Bernina, and I embellished all of these with the different decorative stitches on the sewing machine. Just to see what would happen, because what we did is we picked a thread, we made a thread set to match the fabric. All of that is on our website, and I'll link it below. But I wanted to play with not just threads by hand, but also by machine. So this is a project, I've got 5 more blocks to do, but it's just literally throwing circles down on fabric and playing with thread and embellishments. So this went from thread painting to thread embellishing. Then I went from there and I started doing, again, this is another picture I'll put up. I did these thread mandalas for Aurifil for a blog, which I will link below if you want to go check it out. There's even a tutorial video, which I will link. And I did these whole series to celebrate this one box of thread they had, which obviously you could tell from the picture was yellow. But those are all hand-drawn mandalas, and sit down at your sewing machine and you just draw with your sewing machine. Not only is it relaxing, it helps you practice your free motion, which then will help you when you do your big quilts. And you end up with these really fun, cute designs that you can either hang on a wall, you can turn into quilt blocks. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with them. Stay tuned, because I have lots of other things I want to do with this whole thread drawing and sketching and embellishing even pieced quilt blocks to add just a little psst to it. So without using a embroidery machine module, that is the difference. Not that there's anything wrong with those, I just don't have one, and I want to make embroidery go back to when we did embroidery without a module, and it has some freeform feel to it, a little more organic. So from all of that, then I was in San Francisco and I went to a shop and they were teaching punch needle. And so I took a class and I made this cute little strawberry patch, and it's all, there's the back, because I didn't close up the back. So that's the back side, which is just as cute as the front side. And I learned about punch needle and how to do it with floss and how to do it with yarn. Very easy craft. If you're looking for like an entry-level handcraft and you don't want a lot of stress, cross stitch is good. Sashiko was good, but this is like very, very easy and fun and relaxing. And there's all kinds. Urban Acres is the people, they have a website. They're the people that I got a kit from and did this from them. I got a kit with a bee, which someday I'll get done. So then from punch needle, last but not least, I decided I wanted to learn to crochet. So I'm not going to show you my first project I did, which is a very lopsided dishcloth. But then what I did, my dad was here, and I decided he was kind of intrigued. He had like a little seed of interest. I don't even know if he had like a huge chunk of interest, just a seed. And I dragged him with me to the yarn store, and we got a hook, and we got some yarn for him, and these monsters, not this one specifically, but they had a table of embroidered or crocheted monsters, and I was like, I need to have one. So with a lot of patience and a couple private lessons from Erin at Tempe Yarn, plus taking her basics class, I was able to complete this guy in a couple of weeks. And he sits on my desk and makes me very, very happy. But I've decided that I really like crochet if you're in the car or on an airplane or somewhere where you don't have a lot of room. You just whip it out and you can do a little bit of crochet. I have knitted for years off and on, and I can't say I'm the hugest fan of knitting. My sister is a master knitter. Her work is absolutely amazing. But it's just not my cup of tea, and I seem to have picked up crochet much, much faster, and I'm enjoying it much, much more. So you may see some crochet on this channel as well. So those are all the projects, not counting the quilts, I've had to make since February. I have definitely fallen down a rabbit hole. I have definitely am exploring many, many ways to use the same products, the same supplies I have in my studio. But I would love to hear your comments. Do you like seeing my show and tell? Do you want to see the progress on these projects as I go? Do you want to see how to do some of these things? I'm kind of one of those people, like, I learn it and then I've got to teach it right away. Don't know why. I'm that kind of a person. So yeah, if you want to see how-to videos on how to do beginner crochet or any of this other stuff, I certainly could throw something together. Just don't ask for advanced. I'm not there yet. But I thought it would be a different video to share with you what I've been doing and what I've been thinking and where I'm going, and let you see what progress I've made. So stay tuned for progress on the ones that are not done. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest, because I do post a lot of pictures over there or short videos as I'm going versus doing a big YouTube video. But if you're still hanging around, I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave me a comment below, and give me a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time.